friends, today my group and I am going to present Social Psychology comic strip. The title of our comic strip is Through Jessie's Eyes. The reason why we wrote this title is because you can read this story through Jessie's very own feelings and perspective. So I'm Shilly, this is our group mates, Lawrence, Charlie, Christine, Alexis, and Fred. So this is the overall view of our comic strip, and I will pass you the time for Lawrence.
Good morning, Mr. Shah and my fellow friends. I am Hong Seo Tech, presenting the storyline and first page, first concept of our comic strip. Next, please. Moving on, this is our first page of our comic strip. It starts with Jessie, a shy, timid girl joining Taylor's University, which doesn't look like Taylor's. And she joins the first lecture. She enters very shyly, saying hello to her classmates. As she entered, the first thing she saw shocked her very much. She saw three girls wearing heavy makeups, luxury jewelries, and branded outfits. Next, please. The concept of this page is stereotyping. Definition of stereotype is assuming all members of a group shares common features. Applying this concept to our previous page is basically Jessie joins the class and she sees three girls wearing heavy makeups, luxury jewelries, and branded outfits, forming a negative stereotype, thinking that rich kids are spoiled and has bad attitudes. Now I'll pass it on to Alexis for further pages.
Thanks, Lawrence. I'm Shui. So now I'm going to continue the story. As Jessie had a stereotype that the girls are those boy rich kids. So when the group discussion starts, Jessie used an unpleasant way to talk with the girls to show that she doesn't want to be with them in the same group. The attitude of Jessie caused the girls create a bad first impression of Jessie. So they just leave Jessie out of a conversation and started to talk about brand stuff. As you can see from the comic, Jessie looked impatient and she felt herself has been isolated by the girls. She then banged her hand on the table and left the class alone. On the next day of school, while Jessie was entering the classroom, she heard her classmates gossiping about her. So, the concept shown from this scene is first impression. What is first impression? First impression is a mental image that a person forms on you when they first meet you. It can be based on your age, gender, culture, race, the way you talk, and so on. Go back to the story. Because of Jessie used the rude attitude to talk with the girls, so the girls have created a bad first impression of Jessie. The mental image of Jessie has been created in the girls' mind. They gossip with other classmates about Jessie. Jessie is a rude, grumpy, and impolite person. So now, Jessie's first impression to everyone will be the same as the three girls. So here is the end of my presentation. I will pass it to Charlie.
And now, I will talk about the topic is conflict. When Jessie went back to her house, when he opened the door, he realized that his father was standing in front of the door. He holding a bottle of beer, and suddenly his father was grabbed her hand, and Jessie threw her father's hand quickly to defend herself. And now Jessie ran to the storeroom. And for this topic for the comic strip is conflict. What is conflict? Conflict means distance ourselves from the others who have failed or behaved badly. In this case, Jessie had thrown her father's hands and thrown her father by her first instance and run away from the badly behaved drunken father. The action of this shows that cutting failure of cutting off effective happens so that behavior doesn't affect or harm Jessie.
Thank you, Charlene. For this scene of the comic strip, I will be explaining the fourth concept and how we've incorporated that into our comic strip. So as we know from Charlene that she went into the storeroom crying to avoid her abusive father. While in the storeroom, a flashback does occur. 3 years ago, her father went bankrupt, resulting in him to start drinking excessive amounts of alcohol, mainly beer. Her father, due to his intoxication, the father abused her every time that he was drunk. Because of the abuse, she shivered with fear, and that she had lack of safety and security shown at the bottom of the comic strip. For our fourth concept, we're trying to show Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The definition of Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a description of the need that motivates human needs and behavior. As we can see at the bottom here, Abraham Maslow has structured a hierarchy of needs to show which is the most basic to the most complex. Starting off, we have physiological needs, safety and security, love and belonging, self-esteem and self-actualization. Through the story, we realize that Jessie's hierarchy of needs are fulfilled from physiological needs, as she does have shelter, food and water, as she does have a home to go back to. However, when it comes to safety and security, it's lacking due to the abusive father that she has a relationship of staying in one building. Resulting of this, that love and belonging, self-esteem and self-actualization cannot be fulfilled. This is what Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs have taught us. Now I will move on to Christine to explain further.
Moving on to the last part of our comic, which is while Jessie was crying in the storeroom, she realizes that there's a box at the corner of the storeroom. She went to the box and opened it and realized there's an old newspaper inside. She flipped open the old newspaper and found a case happened a few years ago. The case was about a 12-year-old girl who was, when her mother died, she was actually abandoned by her father and sent to an orphanage. While she was living in the orphanage, she was actually bullied and got raped by one of the workers there. So after reading about this unfortunate girl, Jessie decided to look on the brighter side as she was not the most unfortunate person in the whole world. Then she walked outside the house and took a deep breath and told herself to stay strong in facing the reality. And that's the end of our story. For this strip portrays the concept downwards factual thinking. Downwards counterfactual thinking concentrates on how the situation could have been worse, and in this scenario, a participant can actually make themselves feel better because they realize that their situation are not the worst that it could be. So for Jessie's case, after reading the case about that poor little girl, she had a thought in her mind that at least her father did not abandon her or she did not get raped by strangers. So instead of that, she decided to look on the brighter side and tell herself that things could have been worse. In addition, downwards counterfactual thinking also made her feel better and grateful about her life because she compared herself to a person with a worse scenario. So in the end, she decided to stay strong and see things in a positive manner.
In conclusion, the concept in our conversation include stereotype differentiation and conflict, hierarchy of needs, and downward counterfactual thinking. Lastly, through this project, we realized that social psychology concepts are happening everywhere around us. We can just step back and analyze it, and we can see them happening every day, even in our daily life. That's all from us. Thank you.